Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please be sure to follow and leave a 5-star rating. All right, folks, the Clarity Act drama continues. So we are not in a good spot, but however, we're getting reports that there's a glimmer of hope that this bill is not 100% dead yet, even though the chances are very slim. So we're getting reports from folks at Punchbowl News that some negotiations are still going on. And even Senator Thune, who's playing a big part of this, is saying the fact that we are in this position, it's kind of a train wreck. Those were his words. So I think rightfully so. It is a train wreck, right? It's a mess. However, there are other bills in the Senate that have to be voted on. And what we heard is from Ryan Rossi, if I'm saying his name right. He handles communications for Senator Thune. So what he said is that the other bills, not related to clarity, that if they don't get this done by this week, it could spill into next week. So it looks like the August recess could be pushed back a bit, not entirely canceled. So that keeps the door open for the Clarity Act to pass. Now, I'm not expecting it to completely pass the Senate. I'm just anticipating a cloture vote. And Senator Thune today did not, file for that cloture. So if these other bills are also having issues, right, the Save America Act, and there's some other ones as well, it could push the timeline back that the Senate will still be working next week. So that gives a little bit of an opening here for the Clarity Act. Not to mention, we got a report that the White House is now engaging in talks regarding the recent bipartisan ethics language that was sent over to President Trump and his team. So some dialogue, some momentum, potentially a window opening here because of other bills are getting delayed and it's going to have to spill into next week. Now, again, I'm not saying the bill is going to pass. The chances are very slim, and there's a lot of fighting going on. In fact, we got reports here that a Republican senator, Josh Hawley, who's a Republican out of Montana, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, he's voting no on the Clarity Act. And his concerns are with the banking stablecoin yield items. So the banking lobby is at work here, right? That's the banking cash coming in. So it's not just Democrats. It's not just the ethics issue. It's also the banks fighting hard. And if you have some Republicans backing out, that may not be good. However, like I said, there's still an opportunity here. So let's see what they're able to come up with. Let's see if this spills over into next week. And maybe we can at least get the cloture vote done. This way, when they all come back in September, they can get this out of the Senate. They can send it over to the House for it to pass there and go to President Trump for signatures. Now, I know some of you are already dismayed, saying it's not going to happen. And I'm not saying it will happen, but there's a slight chance here, right? So let's see what happens. And it's rough. It's rough, right? We were hoping this bill would have passed already. In fact, we were hoping, just like the Genius Act, it would be making its way to President Trump in August, right, to be signed into law. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. There are a lot of headwinds that this bill is facing, and it's the ethics stuff with Trump and the meme coin. It's the banking lobby. They are not giving up. So even if the Trump meme coin wasn't an issue, the banking lobby, they're not going down without a fight, guys. Remember, they want to keep those big bonuses. They already got a compromise on stablecoin yield, and they're still fighting. They still want more, right? Not to mention they're fighting DeFi as well. So the incumbents, the tradfi incumbents, are not giving up without a fight. And what's interesting, with the backdrop of the Clarity Act, you have Russia's President Putin has signed a law providing comprehensive regulation for digital assets and rights for investors. Here's a quote: "The legislation governs the organization, accounting, and custody of digital currencies and foreign digital instruments." So we've been seeing their respective crypto legislation make its way through their government process, and now it's been signed into law. This should be happening in the United States, but unfortunately, we can't get out of our own way, and it's a mess. Look, do I think that there will be a Clarity Act pass this year? Yes, I think we will get it done this year. It's just going to be a hard fight to get it to that point. And look, there's a chance it may not happen, but I'm going to lean on the higher probability that it does happen. Now, what's interesting, the price of Bitcoin is not really reacting to the negative news around the Clarity Act. I put out a newsletter right up today where I said, could this already be priced in? That the market already priced in that no vote would be happening in the Senate and that this bill would be stalled. So we still have till the end of the week and even next week for some sort of massive sell-off on the official notice that it's done, right? That's a possibility. Or as mentioned, it could be baked in already and Bitcoin could slowly just chop and go bounce between the ranges, then break out. And the reason why I'm anticipating that is we have that bullish divergence that's forming on the weekly chart as we've been tracking for months now, which is very good. Now, that doesn't mean the market can't flush one more time down and get that ultimate bottom, right? But we don't know what's going to happen, so we're going to have to be patient. But at least we're seeing the signs of the market getting ready to turn the corner. And the inverse of that is, of course, USDT stablecoin dominance is forming a bearish divergence. So this is exactly what you want to see. If you are waiting for higher prices to come as we head later into the year and to next year, this is exactly what you want to see. Now, some good news is that the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, the stock market, is doing really good. So the S&P 500 hit a new all-time high. The bulls are in full control per the MACD. The RSI is cooling down a bit, but it still has room to run. And the Nasdaq itself has broken out. It looks like it's headed on that same trajectory to go to new all-time highs. So if the stock market is ripping to new all-time highs, that bodes well for Bitcoin and the crypto market. So hopefully the stars align here. Maybe we get a small victory in the Senate for the Clarity Act and the charts align here and the stock market's ripping and Bitcoin has that strong rally. The question is, which I've been talking about and covering in the newsletter as well, do we just rally up to 72K or so, reject from the 200-day moving average and then roll over to 50K? Or we are breaking through that 200-day moving average, building higher highs and higher lows, not to new all-time highs. We're just stair-stepping our way up and the bottom is officially in. That's the big question, right? And again, we don't have a crystal ball, but we can form our thesis and look at different probabilities. I'm sure many of you are looking at the same signals I am on TradingView and other analysts as well. So I really like this bullish divergence we're seeing on the weekly chart. And again, the bearish divergence for the USDT stablecoin dominance on the weekly chart as well. So all of this looks good, regardless of if you have one more flush down. And like I said, fingers crossed we get at least some decent news. The cloture vote for the Clarity Act and the crypto market starts to follow the stock market, because we know the market makers in the crypto industry and market, they like to align with the stock market, which makes sense because the stock market is a bigger, broader market, and the sentiment amongst investors usually follows that. So if that's good time to get crypto going, but we shall see. Now, folks, quick word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Go Mining. Go Mining is the all-in-one Bitcoin app that makes it simple and secure to earn, use, and benefit from Bitcoin every day. Bitcoin is the future of money, and Go Mining brings the future into the present, regardless of your country, income, or level of knowledge. The app brings together a growing ecosystem of Bitcoin products. This, of course, includes mining, which is the core of Go Mining's business. Traditional Bitcoin mining usually requires buying expensive equipment, managing electricity and maintenance, and setting up technical infrastructure. Go Mining removes this complexity. Instead of running hardware at home, users can access real mining infrastructure located in professional data centers through the app. Now, it's important to distinguish that Go Mining is not a cloud mining app. All mining power is backed by real equipment in their data centers. And you can verify this yourself directly in the app. They also offer what's called mining wars. So this is a competitive mining game where users can battle for greater rewards. So it gives you another option to be able to earn and makes it a bit fun as well. In addition, they offer a great crypto wallet, a built-in crypto wallet to store, deposit, withdraw, and convert supported assets directly in the app. And it's easy to manage your Go Mining initiatives within their dashboard, where you can view your rewards and all the mining activities that are taking place. And they also have a great academy that helps you to get started and answers all your questions with courses, guidelines, and much, much more. So you have to check out Go Mining. Go to the link in the description to learn more.
All right, folks, we got some very big news today. Mastercard launches a stablecoin pilot with Borderlessxyz, testing its crypto credential framework across cross-border payment flows in 100 plus countries, days after completing its BVNK acquisition. This is huge. Mastercard, Visa, all the big payment companies continue to expand and integrate blockchain tech and stablecoins. Many of you may have seen my interview with the head of crypto at Mastercard, as well as Borderless's CEO. I've had him on the pod many times. So we're just seeing incredible building. Yesterday, we talked about BlackRock expanding their tokenization efforts, BNY Mellon launching crypto staking. So you're seeing incredible innovation and building, and despite the Clarity Act not being fully passed. So it will be passed eventually, obviously, like I said earlier. And these guys are all getting ready. They're preparing. They're building their infrastructure out, getting ready for the mass adoption of this technology. And speaking of stablecoins, Circle names BlackRock, DTCC, Mastercard, Visa, and Standard Chartered among ARC's founding validators ahead of its mainnet launch. So remember, Circle, they are the issuer of the USDC stablecoin. They launched their own blockchain called ARC. And there were some early buyers of the tokens, but it was, I think, accredited investors, if I'm not mistaken. But look at who they have as validators. Those are some big names, man. So I'll keep you guys up to date. You know, this is a project worth investing in. Once the token is public, we'll see how it all pans out. I have to do a bit more research, but some very big names backing this blockchain, guys. And even more stablecoin news, Cloudflare, for those of you who are in the internet web hosting sector or know these things, know how big Cloudflare is, right? They have launched stablecoin wallets for AI agents, letting autonomous software hold and spend for APIs and content via X402 protocol. Wow. The infrastructure being set up for the AI agentic economy, and they will use stablecoin payments, of course. This is incredible, guys. And the X402 protocol that's from Coinbase, of course. So this is huge adoption news. This is a major infrastructure item here. Now look at this. Yellowcard raises $40 million to link banks to stablecoin processing. So they're going to expand their stablecoin infrastructure, and they're betting that banks will increasingly use blockchain technology to move dollars across borders. Well, I think that bet's going to pay off because we are already seeing it, right? Banks, stock exchanges, payment companies, credit card companies, you name it, they're all getting involved. So everyone is trying to expand and set up shop and create new services and solutions. And the reason this is happening is because the Genius Act was passed. It's law, right? It was passed last summer. So imagine what's going to happen when the Clarity Act passes, the type of innovation we're going to see. Because the Genius Act is hyper focused, it's laser focused on just stablecoins. The Clarity Act touches everything, right? The meat and potatoes of the crypto asset class and technology. So I can't wait for that bill to pass, guys. The innovation and building we're going to see, the investments, the jobs are going to be created, but we need the government to get it right, to get it done. We got to get this done. Final news item, the XRP ledger is now connected to Axelar's interoperability network, enabling cross-chain transfers of XRP and supported assets across 80 plus blockchains without separate bridge infrastructure. I don't hold the XLR token. It's a great protocol. I remember interviewing one of the founders. I do hold XRP, as many of you know, and this is really great. We're going to see interoperability amongst different assets and tokenized assets and stablecoins on different blockchains. So in order for these blockchain rails to work together and for companies who are using different blockchains to work together, you have to have interoperability. So that infrastructure is being set up. So this is really great. So big news for both XRP and even if you're an Axelar token holder. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't as yet. Be sure to support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's on Substack. As mentioned earlier, I put out a write-up today, so make sure you check it out. A lot of chart data and information there. Grab a copy of my book. It's available in paperback and digital on Amazon. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto and blockchain tech. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.